I like to think of myself as a fair man. Oh wait, no, I'm a man who once worked for a fair. But I typically try and make fun of anyone and anything that I think deserves it, regardless of political affiliation. I also think that political affiliation itself is worth mocking, especially when it comes to entertainment. Oh, I can only watch, listen to, or enjoy the things that my side says I can watch, listen to, or enjoy. Good use of your freedom of choice there, fuckos. But anyway, while I reviewed and made fun of the Turning Point USA halftime show last week on my Patreon, support the habit at patreon.com/doseofbuckley, I didn't really properly review the actual Super Bowl halftime show. And so, in the interest of fairness, let's talk about the performance so scandalous that the United States House of Representatives called for an investigation into it. Bad Bunny, the Puerto Rican superstar who has been the most streamed artist in the world 4 times in the last 6 years, appears in some sort of sugarcane field, slacking off, holding a football while everyone else works around him. This guy's like, bro, get the fuck back to work. Then walks through a sort of montage of Puerto Rican locales. A coconut stand, some people playing dominoes. He drops his football off with a woman doing nails. Sure, she appreciated that. Walks through a bunch more things before we finally get something for the fellas. A bunch of big-ass Latinas shaking what their abuelas gave ya. At this point, I think the song has changed, but fucked if I know. He then falls through the roof. We get a little cinematic moment that was clearly pre-taped, very cool production values. And when he emerges from the house, they sing a little bit of Gasolina. I'm a white boy who went to nightclubs in the 2000s. I know that song. You think Daddy Yankee got paid for that? Probably not. Remember, Bad Bunny didn't get paid for this either. The Super Bowl doesn't pay its performers. Then, a legitimate wedding apparently takes place. This straight couple was apparently officially married as part of the event. They get out of the way and, whoa, it's Lady Gaga! The crowd pops like a motherfucker. Oh hey, we know who that is! And she's singing in English! She performs a samba version of Die With A Smile, which sounds way better than the original. Then, some more Spanish singing. No idea what's going on, but the whole performance is continuously high energy, which is exactly what you want, especially in a game that was a blowout so far. At one point he hands a Grammy to a child with a hearing aid. I'm sure this symbolizes something, but whatever, he's got 5 more where that came from. And then Ricky Martin shows up. But you wouldn't know that because he didn't sing Livin' La Vida Loca. Let's skip to the end, where he says his only English phrase, God bless America! American flag leading the charge in front of the flags of other North and South American countries, which he listed like he was doing a fucking Sporkle quiz. The phrase, the only thing stronger than hate is love on the Jumbotron, which of course upset some people. It's funny, the group Up With People, a non-profit organization that promoted multiculturalism and racial equity, performed at 5 Super Bowls in the 70s and 80s. But now it's controversial. Was it my thing? No, definitely not. The only way the Super Bowl is going to cater to me with a South American performance is if they reunite the original lineup of Sepultura. And that's about as likely as seeing AOC at a Kid Rock concert. But funny enough, it was about as fucking tame as it could get, despite all the controversy both before and after. Back in my day, you might see one titty at the halftime show. There was one blink-it-you'd-miss-it moment where 2 guys are dancing together. I missed it during the first viewing, but I guess some people were forced to watch the show A Clockwork Orange style. You had people fear-mongering that he was going to wear a dress. Anonymous sources told Radar Online that Bad Bunny views his performance as an opportunity to pay homage to generations of drag, resistance, and cultural rebellion. One stylist noted that he'd be wearing a dress during the performance. None of that happened. Instead, he wore men's clothing and staged a normal, good old-fashioned heterosexual wedding right in the middle of it. Yeah, because they probably changed it last minute. They clearly rehearsed this thing for like weeks, maybe months. There were no last-minute changes, I can guarantee you that. He said the words, God bless America. I watched both halftime shows, and strangely enough, I don't think the words God bless America were spoken at the one made specifically for Christian conservatives. Please feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, though, with a timestamp. Again, we gotta be fair. As we all know, the best comedy is based on fairness and not hurting anyone's feelings by saying something mean. But hey, if I say something mean, at least you understand it. What about Bad Bunny? You know those songs he sang? The ones you couldn't understand? What if he said a naughty word and we didn't know? How would we know whether or not to be outraged? Well, at least 2 U.S. reps were very concerned about this. Tennessee House member Andy Ogles said there was gay pornography. I don't know what he was watching, but I think he might have flipped over to the wrong channel. He wrote a letter to the House Committee on Energy Commissions to call for a formal inquiry. Is that what they do? Based on their name, it sounds like they would look into hydroelectric dams and dikes, not whether or not someone said dam or dike on TV. And Florida Rep Randy Fine asked the FCC to investigate. To investigate whether bad words were said in a different language at 8 p.m. on a Sunday. The FCC found no violations, by the way, and that if those songs normally have swearing or sexual references, they were removed for this performance. This shouldn't even be fucking close to a priority for the United States government, by the way. That's fucking insane. Especially for a Republican-led government. This is the type of shit Libby's did in the fucking 90s. Joe Lieberman, more like Joe Liberman, crying about pixels in Mortal Kombat. Isn't the right supposed to be about small government? What's small government about policing the 13-minute piss break during a football game? Even Marjorie Taylor Greene mocked this, saying that House Republicans should come up with a health care plan that reduces the outrageous costs of health insurance instead. She's mad that MAGA turned on her, long story, but Trump now calls her Marjorie Trader Greene. But when even Margie Three Toes thinks something is too petty, you've really fucked up. But listen, I get why these people are mad. They're not mad that a guy spoke Spanish and the slightly tan girls might have gave him half a chub. They're upset that the NFL is trying to expand their audience because they feel neglected. They're like clingy girlfriends. You ever date a girl who gets jealous and needy when you go hang out with your friends? That's NFL fans. But is that fair? Maybe. When they're going to Europe to play a game for people who think football should be round, fucking idiots, am I right? Fans back home feel like, what? Are we not good enough? And no, sorry, you're not. No, but don't take that personally. It's not about you. It's about the endless greed of these sports companies who take on gambling companies as official partners. DraftKings, the official partner of the NFL. Come on, mortgage your house on the next play. What are you, a pussy or something? It's not about you. Roger Goodell would sell his own grandchild for a share of the Latin American market. And political or not, I can understand that. I'm a content creator. If I decide to pivot to, say, doing potato chip reviews, you'd be like, the fuck is this? And if I said, well, I want a new audience, I'll still do the worst songs for you, but the rest of my videos are now about potato chips, you'd rightfully tell me to fuck off. I said it in my video a few months ago, but I think the NFL should have played it safer and got Morgan Wallen, Post Malone, and Jelly Roll to do the halftime show. They're all guys who, they probably vote Republican. Well, Jelly Roll's a convicted felon, so the only thing he can vote for is whether they're going to stop for dinner after the show at Pizza Hut or KFC. Morgan Wallen's picking Pizza Hut, and Post Malone's picking KFC, so you're the tiebreaker, gelatin log. But they're not political. They perform the type of country that even city sluts love. Put that in the back of your albums, boys. But honestly, I think that should be the NFL's lineup next year. It's a win-win. If it does better ratings than Bad Bunny, who had the 4th most watched halftime show of all time, by the way, great. If it does worse, the NFL can say, well, I told you so. No one really wants country, so next year the entire halftime show will be in Korean and feature the reunion of BTS. But give them one white guy halftime show, Raj. Come on. Please. Lee Bryce just wants to catch his fish, drive his truck, mow his lawn, and watch his Super Bowl without Bad Bunny and his army of Spanish he-she's coming over and twerking all over his dog while swearing in Mexican or whatever they speak. Think of Lee Bryce, Roger. Won't someone please think of Lee Bryce?